Come on, Snuggles.
No! He's gonna teeter the tripod.
No, he's gonna jump on the tripod.
Hello, everyone, and greetings from LUCKYTOWN! Halloween edition. We took out our normal banner and we replaced it with this completely handmade, from scratch, beautiful Halloween themed banner. We went on like a wild goose chase at several different stores trying to find like cute Halloween decor, and we couldn't find anything nice, so we just had to make it ourselves. Would you like to read what it says?
It says, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." That's the mood we wanted.
But today marks the start of our Halloween themed podcast up until the end of October. So this week and the podcast next week are both gonna be really spooky. Stay tuned for next week because it's gonna be the big Halloween YouTube blowout special, and we have some very special topics planned for that. We're gonna be doing our hometown legends. So I'm from Virginia and Julia is from New Jersey.
Yeah.
So we're each gonna be talking about local legends that we've kind of grown up with.
Yeah.
Who are you? You have had more like interactions with like.
Not well. Personally, I've never really been to the Pine Barrens, but I've known people who like have some experience with that.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll find out next week.
Yeah. Stay tuned. So for this week, we're gonna be talking about Halloween urban legends, but they're not even really specifically Halloween. Just like scary.
Just like it fits
Like,
the
ooh.
mood. It fits the mood of
Yeah.
Halloween.
So, but before we start, we just kind of wanted to chat a little bit about what happened this week. So, this week something very exciting happened. We launched our shop! We launched it 2 days ago?
On the 20th?
Yeah.
So 3.
Oh, 3 days ago. So, if any of you guys are interested in buying any handmade prints, you can check out LUCKYTOWN Press, which is linked in the description. And we're still navigating the website and perfecting like the design of it, but it's up and running, so you can go and buy things now and support us. And we really appreciate that. So, anyways, with that being said, are you ready to start? Okay. All right, we lowered the camera. We just wanted you to see our Halloween decorations earlier, but now we're back to normal. So,
Snookums is here.
yeah, he's
Snookums.
here. Okay.
So,
Are you ready to
I'm
start?
ready. I'm a little nervous because this is our first official podcast, basically. So today I'm going to talk about what everyone probably remembers is the killer clowns of 2016.
2016.
If you remember, it was sort of like a social media frenzy where everyone was taking videos of clowns, like following them on the street and people dressing up. Just like scary sightings of clowns, and like definitely schools were, it was a problem where,
I'm just leaving it like
yeah,
that.
it's fine. Where schools were getting calls from parents because they were worried that like clowns would actually for real come and try to kidnap children. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because I've never seen a clown or anything like that, but there was a personal experience with my area where I live in our high school.
Tea alert.
Mm-hmm.
This one hits home for her.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't know what it was around Halloween time, what the Killer Clowns of 2016 was, basically there were a bunch of reports of clown sightings, and it started with in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh!
And
is that where you were from originally? No, didn't you live in... Oh, Michigan. Never mind. I might edit that out.
I thought I was from Green Bay. So basically, there was this clown who was on the street, looking scary, interacting with people for a film. They were trying to... It was like a publicity stunt, trying to like encourage people to watch this new like low-budget film. And that just like took off, and I think people saw it, And they're like, I want to try that too, and I want to start doing these videos where I dress up like a clown and scare people, because basically these types of videos are like a high reward kind of thing, where if you dress up like a clown and scare people, you're going to get the same reaction every time, and people are going to want to click on it because they're going to be like, what's that? It looks scary. So a lot of people started to do copycat, where they would take this idea of a clown and like try to recreate it, but parents weren't having it, and it looked really serious, and like people started to get scared about it because it was happening more often than usual.
All because someone was just like filming. Were they just filming in like a residential area or something?
I think it was just on the street, and it was just a clown that was looking scary and like just standing there, and like people were walking by, and like somebody released a film of it online. If you want to know more about it, you can look it up. The clown is called Gags the Clown. But it's proven false. It's not like a real thing. But basically the media took this and like made it a big giant thing, and people were going a little bit like panicky and crazy about it. And it actually like led to more serious incidents, like what they call the Penn State Clown Riot.
Ew.
It sounds ridiculous. It's not scary. It's just students apparently saw a clown. It sounds ridiculous, because if you look up videos of what's happening, it's basically a bunch of students running through the streets screaming like, Penn State riot, and stuff like that, because apparently somebody saw a clown on campus. So they went on like...
In 2016?
2016. This all happened in 2016. We are breaking down. And somebody saw a clown on campus, so they went on a manhunt to find out who it was. So a bunch of people gathered together and ran through the streets shouting. And if you look up videos on Twitter, a lot of the times people are saying, like, what's happening? Why are we running? Like, what's going on? So...
Girl, I wish I was there.
I know.
For real.
Most of the people didn't even know what was going on, and they were just joining in.
That's really funny.
So it was like a disturbance. And then even more serious was... this man from Pennsylvania actually stabbed and fatally murdered this 16-year-old child because he was wearing, because he was wearing a clown mask, but it wasn't on his face. It was even on his head. And it was just like the media just took it way too far, and then people took it way too seriously and became panicked, and it resulted in something that didn't need to happen. And so that's basically what the clown craze is about. And for me, my experience is that probably multiple people in my area would make fake social media accounts online, like on Facebook and Instagram. And they would make the name like something like Beware of the Clowns and stuff like that. And they would go and take a sketchy looking picture of the high schools in the area, and they would post it online. They would say like, I'm coming tomorrow, watch out, like the clowns are coming out, and make like these claimless threats.
Girl.
And I remember reading about it online, and somebody had said like, we're coming to the school and we're going to murder and kill teachers, and we're going to kidnap children. So obviously parents were taking this more seriously, and they were calling the police and the school district. And I remember our specific school, our high school, the principal had to call home and release like a message for everyone, say like, this is fake. These are just some students playing a prank. We're looking into it further. And the police had to get involved. And I don't know what happened after that, but I know at several other schools in the district, it happened the same way, where people were just like trying to scare you and make a joke about it, and probably go viral online because they think it's funny. But yeah, that's what happened to me.
And did you ever find out, like, was it adults doing this?
No, it was definitely children. It was definitely like
at
teenagers
the high schools that were being threatened.
Maybe not mine. I don't know. I don't know. But I read a report of like a 14-year-old and a 13-year-old were arrested for starting an account like that in a different township that's close to me. But it was definitely like teenagers trying to make a joke. I don't think adults would do that because that's just ridiculous. It's stupid.
And that's so weird because in my area, like, back in 2016, when I was at high school, I remember, like, hearing about it online, but there was never any sorts of cases or sightings at all. And then all of a sudden in your area, there's like a cluster of like clown activity. And my area was dry. But I don't know why like your area was like a concentrated.
I don't know. Happening. If you look it up, it's like Clown Craze of New Jersey. Weird. I really don't understand why people took to it, but
it's because it's near the Pine Barrens.
Maybe. People got inspired. Bad people.
The clowns came out of the Pine Barrens and they like, were coming for them.
They were being influenced by the New Jersey Devil.
Ew, he was like... No, never mind.
But basically, what I want to end with is talking a little bit about like why we find clowns so scary and like how that came to be. So, if we're going historical, clowns were basically around, first noted in Egypt. We're going that historical. Egypt during the 5th dynasty.
Girl.
All of our information is from sites that we're going to link in the description, by the way. So, basically, they were entertainers at first, and they were meant to entertain adults in all parts of the world. It was just for adults, because back then, like, children were seen as little adults that just needed to grow up. So entertainment was only made for adults. And like it's important to understand that clowns were for adults because adults like they understood that these exaggerated features and these people in makeup, they were making jokes and it was silly and it was funny. But then like as time went on in the United States, clowns started to be more for children just because children, they tended to like the silly outfits and the exaggerated features. They love like exaggerated things that make their imaginations go off. Mm-hmm. So they started to like them, and then clowns started to transition.
What did the clowns in Egypt look like?
We can put a picture. They would like juggle and stuff. It was really weird looking. They would juggle and just perform, and they would do this like I read about this cup trick. Just, like, certain tricks to, like, make the crowd happy. Like, pharaohs and stuff like that.
Are there any hints of, like, what our idea of a clown looks like? Did the Egyptian clowns? Or did they look completely different?
I think they didn't look that much different. There are, like, hieroglyphic drawings. They're not, like, white face. I think the white makeup came later.
Yeah.
In somewhere, maybe, like, Europe. I will figure that out. We'll put that in there. But that came later, and, like, circus clowns started in the U.S. during the 1900s. And, like, we see modern, like, Ronald McDonald and, like, It the Clown and stuff like that. But basically, children, they latched onto it because of how silly it was. But then it started to be confusing for them, because if you think about the way that children develop in their brains, they make up this like prototype or a category for the way our faces look. Mm-hmm. And they look at humans and they're like, this is a human because I see 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, blah, blah, blah. And clowns, they're trying to look less human because of the makeup and the exaggerated nose and like the big feet. So it kind of confuses them on what is human and what is not. Ew. So they can't fit the features into, they can't compare it to anything because they're like, this doesn't look like the everyday human I see, so it must be something else entirely. Like, maybe it's an entirely different thing, which is something that Stephen King, I think, takes on, because in his books, like, It the Clown is an alien from, like, somewhere else.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a human. It's not supposed to be a human. It has, like, weird powers and stuff. So, for children, it can be kind of scary because it starts to not look like a human. And then... yeah.
See, like, if I was, like, a little child and I had never seen It or Ronald McDonald or anything, if you confronted me with a clown, I think I would have, like, an innate reaction. Like, this isn't right.
And it's funny because the reason why it's hard for people to distinguish between, like, a clown being good and bad is because, like, in traditional literature and, like, stories, stuff like that children like to read, they always make sure to make the character inherently good or inherently bad. And with clowns, like, it really depends on what you're looking at, because they can make a clown like in Stephen King's version, he's pretty much evil. You could see a picture of him. The way they make their features look is evil. But, like, with Ronald McDonald, even though he looked really scary, he is supposed to be, like, friendly. Mm-hmm. And there are different depictions of them, and they could be either funny or evil. And sometimes there's, like, if you really think about it, when you think of a clown, your first thoughts go to an evil clown, but, like, there are two different depictions. So this, like, ambiguous character where it could go either way makes people scared.
You know what always freaked me out is Ronald McDonald's mouth. You know how it's, like, painted on? Like,
and then the eyebrows, like, the black. Mm-hmm. It's like mimes. People get, like, creeped out a little bit by mimes because they don't talk and their faces are painted. They're, like, not human-like. Mm-hmm.
You're not scared of clowns, right?
I mean, maybe when I was little I just thought they were scary looking, but I don't think I've ever been, like, during the clown scare in 2016, I don't think I was ever, like, really scared someone's going to come and kill me. Because I feel like if you're a little grown, you realize, like, these are all people who are just trying to play jokes on you.
What if you were in a room full of clown statues? Would you be scared?
Probably. If you were in a room full of clown statues, would you be scared?
I don't know. If I knew they were all fake and not real.
Maybe if it was, like, spur of the moment, like you're walking through a house randomly and you see it.
Ew.
But if I knew, if somebody was like, go into that room, this is a haunted house, go see what's in there, and there's a bunch of clowns, I maybe would be less scared than other things.
Do you know that, I guess it's like an urban legend about that babysitter who's at the house, and it's late at night and she puts the kid to sleep, and then there's this clown statue in the corner that's freaking her out. You don't know what I'm talking about?
I don't know that.
And so she calls the kid's parents. She's like, hey, do you mind if I, like, cover up the clown statue? Because it's really freaking me out. And they're like, we don't have a clown statue. And then it starts chasing her and she, like, books it out the window or something.
No, I've never heard of that.
That one's, like, really overdone.
Well, I'm glad you said it because I didn't know it. Wasn't overdone for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's it for me.
That was kind of quick.
Well, I can say one more thing about the psychology of clowns. Clown fear. I guess, like, people are more scared of clowns because they see, like, adults see it as another adult putting on makeup, an outfit, changing their voice, changing their behavior to relate to children. Like, they have to act cheerful. They have to act childlike to relate to a child and to appeal to them, because otherwise they'd be scary. So they have to, like, put on this whole act and change everything about themselves to become a clown. It's like an actor. Mm-hmm. And they view it as kind of, like, creepy that they would have to act like that. Like, maybe they're a little bit too interested in children.
Ew,
you know what I mean? Yeah. That's where it becomes, like, they want to kidnap children because they have to, like, act childlike. And maybe they had something in their past that makes them act like that. Mm-hmm. That's more, like, media, like, movies and stuff. But
doesn't Pennywise, like, his source of power is, like, children, right?
Children's fear.
Oh, yeah.
I've never read the books. Sorry. I've only seen, like, the movies. So if I'm wrong, I'm really sorry.
And then also we were talking about, like, real normal clowns, like people that actually, like, it's their job.
Yeah, and I remember I did little research because I was wondering, like, how are clowns doing after that happened? And there was this article from Vice, and they were talking about different clowns, like professional clowns that did kids shows, and they had pictures of them in their costume, and they seemed like really nice people. Mm-hmm. And, like, how their business was doing ever since everything happened. And a lot of them were talking about how their business has been declining. But it was declining ever since, like, 2010 started, pretty much. But with this, like, thing where clowns are scary, it was starting to scare children, and they weren't being booked anymore for parties, and they were doing bad. Makes me really sad.
Makes me really sad, too.
That they blew it out of proportion like that. And they... like, people who chose to do that as their career, and they love kids. And there were some really sweet-looking clowns on there. They made... their makeup did not look scary. They just, like, seemed like nice clowns. Mm-hmm. So their careers... I hope they're doing good now. But I would imagine not.
I don't think so. And I feel like hiring like a clown, like that's more like an old timey thing.
Yeah, when you hire somebody to come to a birthday party, it's not the same anymore.
But yeah. Disclaimer, we fully support real clowns.
Yeah. Clowns who go to
it's
clown
actually like
school.
their passion, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I'm really interested. I told you to know like what makes people decide to go to clown college. Like what do they really what attracts them to it, you know?
I think maybe when people who want to go to there's a difference between like people in the circus and then people who are just like they go to people's parties and they do like small tricks like balloons and stuff. But people who are in the circus, I guess they're more interested in like acrobatics, stunts and stuff like that, more tricks, more serious, big kind of acrobatic stuff.
Yeah.
So they go to clown school to learn all those things.
I wonder what they teach there. I guess like they teach you how to like work a crowd.
Yeah. Work a crowd.
Yeah.
Maybe do the makeup. We have to look up clown school. And then how to safely do stunts, probably. Because I went to a circus once when I was really little.
Damn.
To
like in a tent?
Yeah. It was one of the big ones, like Barnaby's or something like that. I can't remember the names of any of them, but they were clowns that fit into a really small car and drove.
That is really funny. That gets
they're
me.
all 3 clowns. They came out of this little car, and then there was this guy who laid down on the ground with like a metal plate on him, and they drove over him. Like they ran him over with the clown car. But that's all I remember from the show. I also think they had animals there, which is not good anymore.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that. That's really bad, like trained animals at a carnival, but I was really little.
Like a bear?
I think there was an elephant.
They had an elephant?
I think so. I just talked to my mom because my mom went with me.
Alright.
But yeah, I think that covers it.
That was really good.
Thank you.
Isn't there like that has like a name where like it's like some kind of psychological effect that has a name where people are off put by like exaggerated features?
Oh, I don't know.
It's called like the something effect.
Well, we're gonna have to look it up because I have no idea what that is.
We're inserting a lot of things onto the screen. All right.
Queen going.
Thank you for your research. That was really good. Because I've never heard anybody go into depth about why are we scared of clowns. You know?
True.
Also, like, I mean, I don't think I would ever hire a clown for my child's birthday party. But, like, I wish I could support clowns in another way, you know?
That's true. I don't think I would, I don't know. I think my brother had somebody hired for once for his birthday party. And they really like it. They like when someone comes in.
Yeah. See, I think, like, it's probably similar to people that, like, they like to dress up as Disney princesses and do kids' birthday parties. Like, they probably do genuinely like seeing, like, the children's faces be happy. I mean, like, wow. But I don't really know. Also, these days, I'm sure kids, now that, like, it and stuff like that are so ingrained in, like, clown stereotype. Even if kids, like, never see that movie, I think they know.
Yeah, you just know that clowns are supposed to be scary. I feel bad.
I know, I feel bad too. Is Ronald McDonald like the only friendly clown?
No, I don't think so. Queen JoJo.
Oh yeah!
If you've ever watched the show JoJo's Circus, there's really cute clown on there, JoJo, and I used to watch it all the time. But it's like an older show. I'm gonna put a picture right here of JoJo because she's really cute, and I really like that show.
All right.
But other than that, I feel like clowns are kind of going away. They are more evil than they were in the past.
That's honestly really sad. Like, freaking jerks. They had to ruin, like, a whole career.
Exactly. The media.
The media.
F the media.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll start now.
I'm excited. You didn't tell me that much information.
I didn't tell you
So I'm excited
anything.
to know what you're going to say.
All right. I'm going to be winging everything, so bear with me if I have, like, some pauses or something.
Oh, don't even worry. It was a little scary, but I did it.
Okay. So, for mine, like, we knew right away, because, like, she's had personal experiences with her topic. that it made sense for me to
I'm
do
not
it.
really interested in clowns, by the way.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird, but like we were just thinking of creepy things, and that happened around summerish fall.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that fits.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyways, so I was trying to decide what to do, and I think I've always had an interest in woods, and there's definitely a lot of speculation around the world with woods that are known to be extremely haunted, that they have something that has this unexplainable pull to them. An aura that like draws people in. And I'll talk about it as I get into... I have 2 woods that I'm going to talk about. But, well, you know what? I'm just going to start before I get into it.
Do it.
I'm just going to do it. All right. So, the first one we have is the Devil's Tramping Ground in North Carolina, which I've never heard of before. Everyone's heard of the Black Forest and Okigahara, and I don't really know any others, actually.
Pine Barrens.
And the Pine Barrens. But yeah, I wanted to choose ones that are kind of lesser known, I guess. So, the Devil's Tramping Ground is located in southwestern Chatham County. And it's right next to this little crossroad, and there's a little tiny trail. And you walk down it, and all of a sudden, there is this big 40 feet wide in diameter, completely clear circle. And in pictures, you can see absolutely no plants grow in the circle. Allegedly, not even a weed will grow in there. No trees, no nothing. Apparently, even wildlife do not like to step into the circle. And when you walk into it, you can see in pictures, it's not just like, oh, like, I guess this kind of looks like a circle and like nothing grows here. But like, it's bare, almost burned looking soil, completely clear. And like, literally nothing will grow there, ever.
Ew.
So, which is weird because like, imagine you're walking through a forest, like full of plants and animals. And then out of nowhere, there's just this area that nothing.
That just seems fake.
Mm-hmm. I know. We're gonna get into why it looks like that, but people in the county, as long as they can remember, nothing has ever grown there. It goes back to like hundreds of years. There are reports of that circle's always been there, and every living thing steers clear of it, and they don't really know why. So, as the name suggests, this weird lack of vegetation is attributed to the devil. People say that every night the devil comes to Chatham County and it stomps and dances in a circle, and it dances and it paces back and forth thinking about all like the evil deeds that he's gonna do. And apparently his fiery hooves are what burns the soil, and that's what deters any plants from growing there ever. So that's like the lore of it. Mm-hmm. And locals, they have tried to plant any kind of grasses, or they've tried to even set up any kind of like obstacle or any like kind of land marker or something, and they will go like the next day and it'll be tossed right out of the circle. Tossed. Like they like, some people are like, oh, it looks like it was violently tossed out of the circle. Like not just like cleared away and like, or like knocked over, like tossed out of the circle, which is really weird. So I have some literature about the Devil's Stomping Ground. So first up, an article from 1882 refers overtly to the indigenous tribes, which likely still lived in the area. Apparently someone from this time, they wanted to contact the Native Americans of the area, and they said that they all have a superstitious dread of the place, and it was with difficulty that I succeeded in getting one of them to visit the place with me for the purpose of digging into it. After getting about 3 feet and finding nothing, his Native American guide was so impressed with the supernatural origin that he refused to go any further. That's from 1882. And then in 1925, there was an account from a 74-year-old man who was born in 1851, and he said that his grandfather, who was born around the 1800s or the late 1700s, said that the spot looked unchanged from when he first saw it decades ago. So we're going back literally like 300 to 500 years. In 1882, there's another article that says people nearly 100 years old who remembered seeing the tramping ground and hearing stories of it when they were children, which goes back as far as the 1780s. And then it goes back even further because it has ties to the lost colony of Roanoke.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think everybody, well, most people probably know what happened in Roanoke.
You should just explain.
But yeah, so basically Roanoke, it was the first English settlement of like the New World, and it was founded in 1587. Technically 1585, but that first attempt, they ran out of food, and they were also attacked by Native Americans, so they just retreated. But then they came back in 1587, and John White, who was the leader of the colony, he went to England to get more supplies, and that voyage back and forth took 3 years. So,
wait, I remember this.
Yeah.
Actually, I remember it from school.
Mm-hmm. So, also Roanoke, it's like present-day Outer Banks of North Carolina. And the Devil's Tramping Ground is in Chatham, North Carolina.
You did way more research than I did.
Well, mine involves more like geography, you know? So basically, he returned 3 whole years later, and he found that all 120 of the settlers were gone. And so everybody knows like the infamous word Croatoan that was left carved on the tree as like the only remaining clue. And so this is relevant to the Devil's Tramping Ground because the area like that the circle is in is apparently called Croatoan in like local legend. Oh my god. I just got really scared.
You said Croatoan and went.
No, I can't think of Croatoan the same way anymore.
Wait, what letter was it? D.
Oh, it was D. If it was C.
Wait, was it? It was D.
It was
okay.
D.
It doesn't have anything to do with anything. Devil, circle.
For real. But like, Croatoan, because I live kind of near that area, like the original settlement. So in elementary school, we were taught about the lost Roanoke colony. And they were like, ooh, it's right near here, where the first settlers all disappeared. But anyways, back in the day, that area was called Croatoan. And there was a Native American chief who was killed in a battle that took place there, allegedly right near where the stomping ground now is. So they say that the name on the tree refers to like that battle site where he died. Allegedly. So that's some background. And then to get into the science of this, because it seems like at first glance you're like, yeah, like maybe the soil's just off, or like maybe there's like, I don't know, it used to be like some kind of, I don't know, like working site where there's a lot of like foot traffic and it just compacted the soil and things don't grow there. Or like the pH is off. Just something like that. So in one article I found, there's a man by the name of Rich Hayes, and he's a soil scientist, and he's also a resident of Chatham County. So this hits home for him. And so he's been researching the circle for, oh, hi, Snookums, for around like the past 20 years. Mm-hmm. And so he wanted to help out by doing several analyses of the soil. So what he would do is he would take samples of the soil from inside the circle and outside of the circle to compare them. And so he found that he was looking for any evidence of like high amounts of salt or anything that would raise the pH and just make it more inhabitable for plants. And so he said he was looking at the salt and copper content of the soil specifically. And he said, what we found out here last time was that we had elevated readings of certain things inside, but none of the readings, none of the data we showed that plants couldn't live there at all. Which makes sense because, like, what condition does the soil have to be in that is so bad that not even, like, a little weed will grow there? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Wait. So, like, he's saying, what did he say?
He said, like, yeah, we found high levels of things that made the soil more acidic and, you know, like, not prime condition.
but it's not completely inhabitable.
Like, it's like there's no scientific explanation as to why plants can't live here, but plants can't live here.
Because think of even like dry, sandy, crusty soil.
Some
even
stuff lives
some
there.
kind of plant can grow in there. Also, I'm popping off because I thought I was going to be a soil scientist in high school. But anyways, so basically he said that the test raised more questions than answered. And so it says the soil was found to have, inside the circle, the soil was found to have higher sodium, copper, zinc, and pH level from the soil outside of the circle only a few yards away. And he said none of them were drastic enough to make it toxic. Also, something very interesting I found says that when you stand in this circle with a compass, at certain points the compass will skew about 5 degrees. So the compass reading will be off when you stand inside the circle.
The devil's doing something.
I know. And that's so interesting because that's literally the magnetic poles being off. Only in that circle. Isn't that really weird? Really off.
I don't want to go visit.
I kind of want to visit, honestly. But a lot of people, they try to say that, you know, it's just because of human activity that maybe the soil is just too compacted. Because in recent years, unfortunately, the circle has kind of become like a party location. Or like lots of people know the lore of it. So like, oh, let's go check it out. Let's go camping there. And apparently now it's really unkempt and there's like graffiti sprayed on the trees and stuff like that. I know, it's really sad.
It makes me upset.
I know.
I don't want to visit.
I know.
I don't want to visit.
I know. People can't be responsible these days. And so people are like, oh yeah, it's just because people go there and they have like bonfires and stuff or they party there. But it's been like that for hundreds of years.
It's like people from 1800s weren't partying.
Exactly. Like, I don't think they were. So, like, we really don't know. Exactly. Like, there's evidence that points both ways. But yeah.
I believe it.
I know. It's very odd. It's literally like a black circle in the middle of the woods. But anyways, I would go, honestly. I wouldn't camp there, but I would like to go.
Okay.
See if I feel like any weird vibes.
We go there. I guess.
We should go. It's pretty close to here.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah,
North
you
Carolina.
said it was really close.
But yeah. Anyways, so that's it for the Devil's Stomping Ground. And I just wanted to do one more. So the next forest that I chose, we're going global for this one. International. So this next one is called the Hoia Baciu Forest, which is outside the city of Cluj-Napoca in Romania. I hope that pronunciation is good. So, this one is really crazy. It's known as the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania / Romania.
That sounds like a bunch of bad things put together. Bermuda Triangle plus
Transylvania. Okay, so allegedly the name of this forest, it's named after a shepherd who went missing there with his flock of 200 sheep. Allegedly. The forest first kind of gained international paranormal recognition because in 1968 there was a man by the name of Emil Barnia, and he was a military technician, and he photographed what he claimed was a UFO hovering over the clearing. And I was like, what's the clearing? Because it was like capitalized. And so apparently in the forest there is a barren area that's kind of ovular shaped where nothing grows. And I was like, yeah, I was like,
what if like you did a bunch of research and you found like different places all over the world where there's like a circle and it has something to do with like the way the earth is.
Exactly. I'll get into it more in a second. But basically he said that, well, he witnessed like a UFO hovering above this unnaturally barren area in the middle of the woods, and he took a photo of it. And he tried to spread the word and tell people in Romania. And because at the time Romania was under communist rule, he basically, any claims of UFOs, it labeled you as insane, and also you're trying to overthrow the government. So he was basically shunned out, and he lost his job, and he was just labeled as untrustworthy for the rest of his life. And to think that he believed what he saw was that important to risk all that, he told them. Like, he didn't gain everything and he lost everything because he really felt like he had to tell people. I know, this is really sad.
I'm really upset.
Shout out to Emil.
What does he look like?
I couldn't find a picture.
Oh, okay.
But that was in 1968.
1968?
Mm-hmm.
That's recent.
No. Actually, I should have looked into him more to see if he's still alive. Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. But shout out to Emil.
Or really pushing it.
Mm-hmm. Really pushing it. So just some basic facts. The forest spans over 729 acres, and it contains hiking paths, bike trails, and guided tours. Which I thought was really interesting because either I found some articles that said, like, oh, all the locals wouldn't dare to go into this forest and they know to stay away from it. And then other articles were like, yeah, there's bike paths there and like running trails, and it's like encouraged for people to go there for like recreational activities.
For like tourism kind of thing?
Like
Oh.
people were like, yeah, like we love to go jogging and biking there because the scenery is really beautiful. Like routinely.
They're in the Bermuda Triangle of Romania and they have no idea.
I know, it's really weird. Honestly, I would love to go there too. It looks really beautiful. Also, here's a picture of the clearing.
Wait, that's still there to this day?
Mm-hmm.
That looks really scary. It looks like a
Weird.
crater that, like, a meteorite fell on. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Meteorite?
No, that's similar to what I'm about to say. Also,
Oh.
insert picture of clearing here. So, I'm surprised for the Devil's Stomping Ground that there was no talk of, like, UFOs. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that's an explanation that always comes up. But, for the clearing in this forest, I think a lot of people, they believe that, and there's several accounts, like, when a UFO lands, allegedly, that area sees weird spikes in things like the rate of tree growth and the soil pH changes, and just weird stuff suddenly kind of starts going off, and it's not natural anymore, allegedly because like the UFO
Changes everything.
it changes because of like their otherworldly technology. So, and I remember a long time ago, I can't remember what video it was, but it was like a video about alien abductions. And there was like a lumberjack or someone who does work in the woods, and him and his crew were going home, and they see like a bright light, and this one guy goes walking towards it, and he disappears, and there's like a big flash, and all of his like crew buddies are like, oh my god, and they run away. And
damn,
I can't remember his name, but it's like a real account. I know, they didn't try to save him at all.
They were like, shady. That's not happening to me. Bye.
I'll insert it here if I can find it, because I feel like I should credit it. But basically, he was abducted, and then he was returned like a week later or something like that. And the area that he was abducted from, they came back to it, and scientists went there because the trees were growing at like an exponential, crazy rate that is completely unnatural, and they were never like that before. Like the trees started going like, oh, like crazy.
Wait, just around the area?
Just around the area that he was
trees,
abducted.
The other trees look normal, and then there was just a really tall tree.
Yeah, just the area surrounding where the UFO allegedly abducted him. Mm-hmm. So there's kind of like a grain of truth to what Emil saw. Because this clearing, like, again, it's very unnatural in the middle of the woods where nothing will grow, you know? Mm-hmm. So anyways, a lot of people believe that this forest is a portal that causes people to disappear because there are several cases of people that have gone into the forest and then gone missing, which is interesting because in the past I've heard that forests and also bridges can serve as portals to other worlds. You know what I'm talking about?
He's scared.
Like
Goatman Bridge?
Yeah, like Goatman Bridge, exactly. I tried to look into why. Like, why is there this certain type of energy in forests that is just off?
Maybe like bridges.
And bridges.
Bridges in general. Bridge to another world.
True. Or like,
I don't know. I'm just making it up.
I don't know why. Maybe it's like the energy for like bridges, like the energy of the height.
To things. Oh, yeah.
Something. I don't know. I tried to look into it, but I really couldn't find much about why forests change like the magnetic field or something like that.
We need to go to a forest.
I know, we really do. I really want to go to this one.
We'll just hop on a flight to Romania real quick.
So people who visit the Hoia Baciu, they report strange symptoms such as nausea, anxiety, and the feeling of being watched. And also the failure of electronic devices. And as well as mysterious orbs of light, disembodied female voices, and laughter and apparitions.
Wait, so when it says electronics, do you know, like, does that mean no service, or your phone just turns off because of some kind of magnetic thing?
I'll get into it in a
second.
know?
Okay.
Okay, so also people report coming out of the forest having rashes on their body, as well as really intense feelings of anxiety. And the feeling of being watched, of course. I feel like if you know, you know. Like, you know, like how humans just have like a primal sense that something's watching me right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So anyways, back to the electronic devices. It is said that they malfunction in the forest. So yeah, that includes like phones and just any device like that. And this forest, something that I guess just kind of adds to the creepiness, and it's like its trademark, is that the trees in this forest grow in crazy ways. I want you to look at this picture. They grow in like crazy.
Elsa, that looks like somebody's like leg. It looks like they're walking. Ew! It looks like they're walking.
They grow in just crazy, unnaturally dramatic, curved ways. And basically these trees, they grow in zigzag or spiral patterns that scientists cannot explain. And what's really odd is that every tree that does, because not every tree in the forest grows like that. Like, there's normal ones too, but sometimes there will be clusters of these really weird ones. And every tree that does twist and spiral like this does it in a clockwise direction. They all consistently turn like that.
Do you have a picture of like a twisted tree? Or no?
No.
It's funny because like in composition and drawings and stuff like that, when there are vertical lines, I studied up on this. Mm-hmm. It means lack of movement. It just means like stillness. But then like when you see a bunch of trees in a forest, but then when you see like that diagonal jagged lines, it like makes you feel like danger.
Ew.
It makes you feel like there's something wrong.
That
like,
makes
the
sense.
jagged edges of like a canyon, like there's danger there, like your like instincts or something like that. So there's something wrong there.
For real. Because like you said, like they almost kind of look human-like. Like it looks like these trees have more life to them than just a straight tree.
Like the aliens who came, like all the trees started growing a lot and then they start walking.
Ew, okay. So, anyways, back to what I said about people going missing. I couldn't find out if this was real or not. I don't know. I'll say it. So, one of the more dramatic stories of somebody going missing is there's a story of a 5-year-old girl who gets lost in the woods. And she emerged 5 years later, allegedly wearing the same clothes unaged. I don't know how credible that is.
When was that?
I couldn't find it. Literally just said a 5-year-old girl went missing.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's like a urban legend.
It seems more like an urban legend. But
I know it's so spooky. Maybe she was taken.
Spooky. But like this forest has a lot going on. It has like UFO sightings, magnetic poles are off, people go missing, apparitions and laughter.
No, they're like, what's all the worst things that could happen? Let's put them right here, the Bermuda Triangle of Romania. What?
Oh my god, I thought I wasn't recording for a second.
I've been looking at it. I think it's recording.
Okay, yeah. I can see the red dot. But yeah, it makes sense that it's called the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania.
Yeah, because people disappear.
It's got everything.
We should do an episode about the Bermuda Triangle because I don't really know a lot about it.
Oh, it really scares me.
I remember I watched a show about it once where people flying over it disappear, right? Because it's not really like a place. It's just like an area where something's wrong with the weather and stuff. That sounds like the most unintelligent way to describe it.
No, you're right. Like high winds, crazy like dramatic storms, and also I think the magnetic poles are also off in the Bermuda Triangle.
Thank you.
Like, like that's how it like messes with like planes, like navigation and stuff like that. But yeah, that's it for my forest.
Coming in with all the good information.
Yeah. All of my sources, both of our sources, will be linked in the description. So you know we're not lying to you.
I was really intrigued. I feel like you had my attention.
What? Oh, I had your attention?
Yeah.
That's good. Well, I just like, I've always been really interested in like woods and forests and stuff. So I got kind of...
You got into it. See, clowns aren't really my forte.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel bad. I feel like I should have done more.
No. You're just really good. Because you have, like, an actual, like, first-hand account, and I don't. I've never had a creepy woods encounter. I don't think so.
I don't think me either.
Have you?
Mm-mm.
I
don't really think I've been in the woods that often.
Me neither. I don't really go in the woods.
Maybe my brother. Someone who goes in the woods a lot.
Well,
is that it?
That's it. All right. So that concludes this week's podcast.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that was really fun. Next week, y'all better tune in because we're gonna have our big YouTube blowout special.
It's okay. The big blowout was making him stress. He'll be here for the big blowout.
Yeah, so that, like I said in the beginning, it's gonna be hometown legends. So stay tuned for that. And then also if you want to buy anything from our shop, that will be linked in bio, please. We would really, really appreciate it. We would honestly freak out. Yeah.
I think we would.
Yeah,
we would talk about it a
lot. So shop is linked in bio. Also, all of our socials are in the description.
And then you're gonna come out with your vlog from last week.
My vlog, I'm aiming for tomorrow. Or Sunday.
Good luck.
Either tomorrow or Sunday. We'll see. But yeah. And then your vlog is in progress. Currently.
Yeah. It's hard vlogging. I've never filmed myself doing things, so bear with me.
That's another thing. Because I don't know if y'all could tell, but we've never filmed ourselves before starting this channel. Yeah. So it's interesting because I've always watched YouTubers, but I've never really known it would feel like this, Because it seems like, I can film myself and talk about what I'm doing.
And then you start and you're like, do I look at the camera?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a big learning curve.
Yeah. Okay.
But, yeah, that's everything.
All right.
Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye! Boom!
I love that!